Cecconi is on the mound for the Cleveland Guardians today. He has a 3.38 ERA, which is a pretty good result, but he definitely didn't earn it. He has a whip at 1.29, which is definitely not concurrent with that 3.38 ERA. The expected ERA is at 5.16. Bottom 4 percentile in average exit velo, chase percentage, barrel rate, and hard hit rate, and very low ground ball rate. So you can hit him really hard. The thing is, he doesn't walk a lot of hitters, does get a good amount of strikeouts. So the strategy here is just find your pitch and crush it. So hopefully the Cardinals can barrel him up, take a lot of good swings over the course of this game. Here are the lineups. Brendan Donovan's going to be leading the game off. Cecconi uses 41% four seams, 26% sliders, 16% curveballs. So those are the three pitches you can expect to see the most. It is Donovan, Wynn, Burleson, Contreras, Nootbaar, Arenado, Gorman, Pozo, and Scott. But Arenado is getting the day off at third. He's playing DH today, which means that Gorman is playing third base. So a little bit of a downgrade on defense. We'll see how it works out. For the Guardians, it's Kwan in left, Thomas in center, Jones in right, with Schneemann at second base, Santana at first, Ramirez at third, and Arias at short, and Hedges behind the plate with Manzardo as their DH. So here we go. Cecconi, his first pitch to Brendan Donovan. Right down the middle, smoked high in the air to right center field. It is gone. The first pitch of the game is a home run for Brendan Donovan. So there's some of that barrel rate catching up with Cecconi, and the first pitch becomes a 1-0 lead for the Cardinals. 105 miles an hour off the bat, 391 feet. So the second base all-star candidate starts us out with a homer. Great approach by Donovan. You gotta get after Cecconi early and often. So one man in already. It's 1-0 Cardinals. Here's the first pitch to Win. Caught the top of the zone with the fastball. It's 0-1. Mason Wynn hitting .253 so far this season, a 7.02 OPS. Second pitch, ground ball up the middle. It's actually going to be off the glove of the shortstop, Arias, for a base hit. So the Cardinals are 2 for 2 to start this one. And that will bring up Alec Burleson, who's been going crazy since the start of May. Burleson's been incredibly hot. He's getting the start in right field today. Hopefully he can keep this going. Mason Wynn just took an up and in fastball there and just got in front of it enough to put it into the gap in the infield. And the play could not be made by Arias. So here's the first pitch to Burleson. Right down the middle with the sinker, fouled back. It's 0-1. Burleson hitting .300 on the year with an 812 OPS. As here's the 0-1 from Cecconi. It is inside 1-1. Highest batting averages on the road in the NL this year are Donovan and Burleson. So I guess the Dodgers do a lot of hitting at home. Here is the 1-1. Up and away, fouled off. 1-2. So Mason Wynn on first. Nobody out. Top of the first inning, the Cardinals already lead 1-0 with Alec Burleson at the plate. Here's the 1-2 from Cecconi. Swing and a miss on a fastball up and in. That was a good pitch. It somehow dropped off the table. A little bit of movement on that fastball for out number 1. So that will bring up Wilson Contreras. Contreras hitting .246 on the year, a 749 OPS. Didn't have a huge series against the Cubs, but he's still been hitting better since the beginning of the season. And we'll see if he can keep that going here. Did have 3 walks. I guess one of them was a hit by pitch against the Cubs, as everybody saw because of the chirping afterward. But Contreras does have 10 homers on the year. Another one here would be fantastic. The first pitch from Cecconi, Cecconi, is up and away 1-0. Contreras also has exactly 50 runs batted in this year, but an extra base hit could drive in a win. Here's the 1-0. Up and in. That one way upstairs, 2-0. Wynn is a threat to steal bases, but the Cardinals usually don't take that risk with him as he is not in that top 10 percentile. In sprint speed, they usually take that chance with Victor Scott, who is getting the start in center field today. Pedro Pajes is getting the day off after catching that fantastic game from Sonny Gray yesterday. Gray did say the one pitch he shook off from Pajes was the one hit he allowed, so Pajes had just as good of a game as Gray. All right, here is the 2-0 pitch to Contreras. Upstairs with the slider, it's 3-0. So Contreras, who's walked a ton recently, threatens to walk again here. With Lars Nootbaar waiting on deck. The 3-0 pitch from Slade Cecconi to Contreras is up and in, and that is ball 4. So a walk to Contreras puts runners on first and second with one out in the first, and that brings up Lars Nootbaar. Nootbaar hitting just .228 on the season, but a .720 OPS, very high walk rate, and 11 homers. 2 men on, 1 out. First pitch from Cecconi to Nootbaar. Fastball just caught the outside part of the plate, it's 0-1. That was a good pitch from Cecconi. He is settling in. But Nootbaar's looking for something to drive. Here's the 0-1 pitch. In there with the curveball. Great pitch dropping out of the sky into the lower inside portion of the zone. It's 0-2. 2 men on. Big chance for Nootbaar to extend the Cardinal lead early. Here's the 0-2 from Cecconi. Upstairs, 1-2. That fastball missed way out of the zone. But that is where his curveball would tunnel off of, so maybe that is part of the thought process. Change the eye level. The 1-2 pitch to Nootbaar. Instead, they check on Wynn at second. So that's the first disengagement of the at-bat. Two men on, 1 out. 1-2 count on Nootbaar. The pitch from Cecconi. He's way outside with the changeup, 2-2. So Nootbaar settling back in to this count. Started out 0-2, worked it back to 2-2. We'll see if he can continue a good at-bat here. The 2-2 from Cecconi to Nootbaar. Curveball dropped in there on the inside corner. Down goes Nootbaar. And it's the second strikeout of the inning for Cecconi. That was a great curveball, just froze him. Really tough pitch to hit once it's coming in on you like that. Nootbaar had to get out in front of that and did not recognize it. So a strikeout of Nootbaar will bring up Nolan Arenado. 2 men on, 2 outs now. Big at-bat in the first. The pitch from Cecconi. Drops the slider right in there for a strike. That was a pitch he could have crushed, but he took it for strike 1. So the count is 0-1 on Arenado. Some of the aggression has left the bats of the Cardinals. I'd like to see him swing a little more often against Cecconi. The 0-1. Up and in, 1-1. Thing is, usually you want to have long at-bats. That's kind of the philosophy of the Cardinals this year. But against a starter like Cecconi, you kind of do just want to take your best hack at his pitches because the reliever that comes in after him is probably not going to have as hittable of stuff. So here is the 1-1 to Arenado. Drops the curveball, gets the call. That one was a little inside, but it's 1-2 now on Arenado. So with 2 on and 2 outs, Arenado is going to have to battle in this at-bat. This is going to be the 20th pitch of the inning for Cecconi. Here's the 1-2 to Arenado. Ground ball, playable at short. Arias makes the play, and we go to the bottom of the first, but the Cardinals do lead 1-0 on a solo bomb from Brendan Donovan on the first pitch of the game. Miles Mikolas when we come back. All right. So here is Miles Mikolas this season. If this is going to load. Mikolas is listed on here as having a better pitching run value than Cecconi, despite his results being worse. The whip at 1.28, ERA at 4.31. Pretty low strikeout rate, but does not walk very many hitters. Also has pretty soft contact. That's what I was going to try to say. The average exit velo down at 89 miles per hour. And the walk rate down at 5.8%. So when you have the defense the Cardinals have behind them, just keep putting it in the zone and hopefully they don't barrel you. Not too bad here. I believe last year he was getting hit a little harder. Maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, there you go. More recently, it's been pretty consistent around this mark. Doesn't have a super high ground ball rate. Doesn't strike out very many hitters, but a lot of pitches in the zone. And when the balls are playable for the defense, usually they make a play. That being said, Arenado's not playing third base today, so it might get a little more difficult. Also, Pedro Pajes is not going to be calling the game, so that could hurt Mikolas a little bit as well. Mikolas against this lineup, you can see the numbers here. Pretty much below average across the board. Just 2 hitters have been above average against him. It's been Lane Thomas and Austin Hedges. So watch out for those 2 as we work through the Guardians lineup. All right, the game is back. Mikolas uses 4-seam, slider, sinker, curveball, and changeup at least 10% of the time. Missed downstairs with the first pitch of the game at 91. It's 1-0 on Steven Kwan. Steven Kwan, a high average, high on base leadoff hitter. The 1-0 pitch is getting the call at the bottom of the zone with the fastball, 1-1. Kwan with a 3.02 average, 789 OPS. Really solid season from him. The 1-1. Right down the middle, popped into center field on the changeup, and that is caught by Victor Scott for out number 1 in the first. So that is what you'll get out of Mikolas. A lot of pitches in the zone. Stuff the defense can make a play on. If we go through the Cardinal defense real quick, it is Pozo behind the plate, Arenado getting the day off, which means we have Gorman at third, Wynn at short, Donovan at second, Contreras at first, Nootbaar in left, Scott in center, and Burleson in right. First pitch to Manzardo is not going to get the call. Manzardo, the DH for the Guardians today. That fastball did catch the bottom of the zone, but didn't get the call. So here's the 1-0 from Mikolas to Manzardo. Fouled back, 1-1. Kyle Manzardo has 12 home runs on the year, but just a 735 OPS due to a low average at 219. So not a lot of on base from Manzardo this year. The 1-1. Swing and a miss on a slider right down the middle. It's 1-2. On deck is Jose Ramirez. Mikolas about to throw his 7th pitch of the game. Attacking the zone here. The 1-2 pitch. Driven out to right field for a base hit. So Burleson will have to cut that one off. And Manzardo has a single in the first. You expect this over the course of a game with Mikolas. He's going to keep attacking the zone. Sometimes the hitters are going to find green grass, and it is what it is. 1 man on with 1 out. Cardinals lead 1-0 in the first. Here comes Jose Ramirez. He's been a top 10 player in baseball since 2017. 6th in home runs in that time frame. 7th in hits. 6th in games played. First pitch to Ramirez is a curveball right down the middle for strike 1. Ramirez with an 892 OPS on the year. hitting .317 with 13 bombs. The 0-1 pitch from Mikolas. Up and in, pulled foul on the slider. It's 0-2. So a good job by Mikolas. He's doing what he does. He attacks the zone. Now he's ahead of Ramirez. Might be able to try to get a chase. Usually his best chase will come on like a sinker outside against a lefty. Something that looks like it might be the fastball. As here's the 0-2 pitch. They go with the changeup outside. That's another good strategy. But didn't get the chase on that one. It's 1-2. One man on with one out. The 1-2 pitch from Mikolas to Ramirez. Check, swing, foul ball above the zone. It is still 1-2. Ramirez, clearly the best hitter on the Guardians this season. Over 100 points better than Kwan for their best OPS, as he swings and misses at a curveball low and in. Down goes Ramirez. That is strike 3. And Mikolas has his first strikeout of the day. This one dropped out of the sky. Great 12-6 curveball. Learned that one from Adam Wainwright. And with 2 outs and 1 man on, here comes Carlos Santana. First pitch. Fouled back on a fastball up and away at 93. It's 0-1. Santana starting at first base for the Guardians today has a .234 average on the season with a .688 OPS. They would love to see those numbers climb back out of the gutter a little bit. As the 0-1 is upstairs 1-1. Santana does have 9 homers though, so it's really mostly just been consistency. And Lane Thomas has struggled much worse than Santana. He is waiting on deck. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Mikolas. Up and away with the changeup, 2-1. Cardinals are playing Santana to pull, but the shortstop is still to the left of second base, as is the rule. The 2-1 pitch. In there with the curveball, 2-2. So a lot of curveballs this inning from Mikolas, making sure he finds the zone. A very tough pitch to track down. And with a 2-2 count and a man on first with 2 outs, here is the pitch to Carlos Santana. Upstairs, 3-2. So that means Manzardo is going to be getting the head start on this pitch. The middle infield will shift back to cover as much ground as possible. And here is the 3-2 to Santana. Curveball dropped in there for strike 3, and Mikolas has 2 strikeouts in the first. We go to the second. It is 1-0 Cardinals. After that Donovan home run, it's going to be Gorman, Pozo, and Scott. Gorman not having his best season of his career. Pretty high walk rate, though. Got the strikeout rate out of the bottom percentile in baseball, 29.1 now. Good barrel rate, good expected slug. This is what you're kind of looking for out of Gorman. Obviously, he did it much better in 2023. What came down big time this year? Average exit velo. So we'll see what changes are made there. Is the bat speed different? 74 there. 72.1 here. I don't think that is what's really changing the exit velo. The bat speed difference isn't too massive there. It's probably more of the squared up. Nope, that's about the same. So yeah, I have no idea. Just not producing the results from Gorman this season. All right, so let's see. Pozo, Scott, obviously. Pozo's been an above average hitter this year. Not bad as a catcher either. That's why he's stayed on the roster. 2 batting run value, 766 OPS, had that walk-off base hit. 303 expected batting average for a 310 actual average. 2 homers. Doesn't strike out, also doesn't walk. He's always putting the ball in play. Has its benefits. Obviously, it has its downsides, but mostly benefits when you are not striking out. So that's why he's on the roster. All right, the game is back. First pitch to Gorman is a swing and a miss at a curveball below the zone. It's 0-1. Might be a little behind the game here, so I'm going to try to catch up and speed up a couple of pitches. The 0-1 pitch from Cecconi is just outside with the fastball, 1-1. Here is the 1-1 to Gorman. Swing and a miss on a slider outside. It's 1-2. And after this next pitch, we will be live once again. There was a step off, so here is the 1-2 to Nolan Gorman. Fastball up and away, popped foul, still 1-2. And now we are live. Gorman has 6 home runs on the year, 703 OPS. Nobody on, nobody out in the second. The 1-2 pitch from Cecconi. Low and in with the curveball, 2-2. It's rare that we get to see Gorman playing third. The Nolans have switched places for this one with Arenado at DH. The 2-2 pitch from Cecconi. Up and away with the slider. It's 3-2. So a good at-bat from Gorman. Has worked a full count. Cecconi wants a new baseball. Joel Pozo is waiting on deck. He is the catcher today. The 3-2 pitch from Cecconi to Nolan Gorman. Curveball right down the middle, pulled foul, and we'll do it again. Gorman was hyped as a third baseman prospect back when the Cardinals first acquired Arenado. There was a lot of discussion around that at the time. The 3-2 pitch from Cecconi. Another curveball inside. That one crushed high in the air to right field, but a leaping grab at the wall is made by Nolan Jones for out number 1. What a play by Jones. We might get another look at that, as the replay just froze, so never mind. Okay, there we go. 1 out, nobody on. It's going to bring up Joel Pozo. Let's see. Okay, we are going to get another look. He was low and in. It was inside of the zone. Gorman got his hands around on it, hit it pretty hard, but right in front of the track, Jones made a leaping grab and prevented an extra base hit. All right, 1 out, nobody on. First pitch to Pozo is in there for a strike with the slider. 0-1. Pozo, very rare does he ever strike out or walk. Almost always puts the ball in play. Has a 766 OPS as a result in 27 games. The 1-1 from Cecconi. He's a curveball out over the zone, but it is pulled foul. So 1-2 with 1 out in the second. Pozo does have 2 homers in those 27 games for 9 runs batted in. Here's the 1-2 to Pozo. Upstairs, 2-2. Now that the Cardinals are having a couple of at-bats, Cecconi is at his 33rd pitch of the game here. The 2-2 pitch to Pozo. Fouled back. That was a slider above the zone. Pozo could have got there, but fouled it back instead. Still 2-2. One big benefit about being short, as Pozo is that you have a wider range that's outside the zone that you can actually go and get. So that is what allows them to put the ball in play so often. As here's the 2-2 from Cecconi to Pozo. Cecconi delivers. And a swing and a miss. A slider low and away strikes out Pozo. And with 2 outs and nobody on, Victor Scott will step up to the plate. Very rare strikeout from Pozo there. Just was out in front of that slider. Great pitch from Cecconi. First pitch to Victor Scott II is in there with the slider up and away. It's 0-1. Scott has 3 home runs in 76 games. Big stolen base candidate. I believe he's up above 22. I don't know exactly where he is. The 0-1 pitch is fouled back. 0-2. Has a 641 OPS. Let's see. Before we get that number for you, we can get you the 0-2 pitch to Victor Scott with 2 outs in the second. Here it is. It's outside with the slider, 1-2. Scott has exactly 22 stolen bases, so I did remember his most recent one. Nobody on and 2 outs in the second for the 9-hitter for the Cardinals. The 1-2 pitch to Victor Scott. Fouled off, still 1-2. And here's another 1-2 pitch from Cecconi. Low and in. Skipped past Scott there. It's now 2-2. So a long inning for Cecconi means that this will be the 40th pitch of his day to the 9-hitter of the Cardinals. The 2-2 pitch in the top of the second. Fouled back again. Great at-bat from Victor Scott. Making Cecconi work. Could even eat up the bullpen of the Guardians for the last game of the series. The 2-2 pitch to Victor Scott in the second inning is up and away, 3-2. So 2 outs, nobody on, and a full count on Scott. With Brendan Donovan waiting on deck. He homered his first time up. The 3-2 pitch to Victor Scott. Driven in the air to right field. That's going to be a base hit. It drops in front of the right fielder Jones. Or another base runner. So a big stolen base threat on first. I think you should definitely send him here. As here is Brendan Donovan, who took the first pitch of the game. 105.3 off the bat. 56-foot apex for a 391-foot homer. And he might be taking a pitch this time. First pitch to Donovan. Instead, they check on Scott, and the ball gets away, and Victor Scott is going to advance. So the Cardinals now have Victor Scott in scoring position on a mistake by the pitcher Cecconi. And with Scott on second and 2 outs, Brendan Donovan will be looking for the first pitch. So the Guardians do the job of Victor Scott for him, and now a base hit could easily score him. First pitch to Donovan from Cecconi is in there with the curveball, 0-1. Donovan with an opportunity to get yet another RBI in this game. Already has 30 on the season, as here's the 0-1 pitch. Fouled the other way, 0-2. So 2 outs, 0-2 count now to Donovan, with Victor Scott in scoring position. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Goes down and fouls it off his foot. Still 0-2. See if Donovan can work a little bit of a longer at-bat and find a pitch to hit here. The 0-2 is up and away, 1-2. Donovan with an opportunity here to extend the Cardinal lead. It is 1-0. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Cecconi. Up and away with the changeup. 2-2. Good at bat by Donovan. He fouled off the 0-2 pitch. Made Cecconi throw a couple more. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Cecconi. Curveball missed outside. It's 3-2. So Donovan works it all the way back to a full count with Mason Wynn waiting on deck. Maybe Cecconi doesn't want to pitch to Donovan. We'll find out here. The 3-2 pitch to Brendan Donovan. Curveball in the zone, pulled over to first base. Easy play for Santana. And we will go to the bottom of the second on that ground out. It is still 1-0 after Donovan's first inning homer. So it's going to be Lane Thomas, former Cardinal, due up first next inning. -9 batting run value. I mean, this is going to be the worst season of his career, I believe. If you just count this far into it, I'm sure he'll be fine over the course of the entirety of the season, but positive hitter for the Cardinals in 19. Traded to the Guardians. Did put up a -4 over a full season, but probably very limited sample size. He wasn't qualified. Then started to become a positive player for the Guardians over time. Best year coming in 2023 with a 783 OPS. Basically above average across the board outside of that strikeout rate, which probably hurt him a good amount. And it stayed pretty steady there. But it's gone up for this season. That's pulling everything down. And he's not hitting the ball as hard either. So just a 504 OPS in 120 plate appearances has made Lane Thomas's season pretty bad. But he does have a 93rd percentile sprint speed. That was 94th percentile 2 years ago. He's not slowed down much yet. The game is coming back. Here we go. First pitch in there with the curveball to Lane Thomas. It is 0-1. Lane Thomas is a former Cardinal. As the 0-1 pitch is just outside with the sinker, 1-1. Having a pretty rough season so far this year. A 168 average, 504 OPS, just 3 homers. As here's the 1-1 pitch from Mikolas. Drops the slider in there for a strike. It is 1-2. Nobody on, nobody out in the second. The 1-2 pitch from Mikolas. Up and in, pulled foul, still 1-2. Mikolas trying to protect a 1-0 lead here in the second inning. And keep rolling against the Guardians lineup. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a sinker below the zone. Down goes Thomas for out number 1. Swung right over that one. Just dropped off the table. So with 1 out and nobody on, here comes Daniel Schneemann. Schneemann getting the start at second base. First pitch. Driven in the air to center field. Back goes Scott. At the track. He will catch the ball right in front of the wall for out number 2. So Mikolas knowing the field that he is pitching in. Not his best pitch there, but did not get out of here. Instead, it's an out with Victor Scott playing center field. So 2 outs and nobody on, and that's going to bring up Nolan Jones. Jones made a fantastic catch out in right field earlier today. but hasn't hit as well this season. First pitch. Right down the middle with the fastball. It's 0-1. Jones has 3 homers on the year for 20 RBIs and a .618 OPS in 72 games. The 0-1 pitch is low and in, fouled off his body. 0-2. He seems perfectly fine after that. So 2 outs, nobody on. 0-2 count with Mikolas on the mound. The pitch to Nolan Jones. In there with the sinker for strike 3, and down goes Jones. That is Mikolas' 4th strikeout of the day, and we go to the 3rd. It is still 1-0 Cardinals. Great inning from Mikolas there. And it's going to be Wynn, Burleson, and Contreras. Mason Wynn, just a slightly above average hitter this year, 702 OPS. I guess technically they have him below average in batting run value, but it is positive. So that's always weird to me. I guess the really good hitters, like he's probably better than the median player, but not better than average. Because the really good players pull the average up. But yeah, not striking out much. Walking a decent amount at 8%. Like the 18 and 8, that's good. 18.1 with 8. This will work out for you. And then, pretty good contact that puts him above average. And then great defense, 11 outs above average, 99th percentile on that category. Good sprint speed, just a great shortstop. Especially at 23 years old. As the game is back. So here we go. Mason Wynn about to face Slade Cecconi. Leading off the 3rd, the Cardinals still lead 1-0. Here's the first pitch of the 3rd inning. Low and away. Did he go? No, he did not. It's 1-0. That was the 50th pitch of the day for Cecconi. In this 3rd inning, the 2nd pitch here, the 1-0 to Win is outside, 2-0. So Cecconi's pitch count getting up there early in this game as the Cardinals lead 1-0. Here's the 2-0 to Mason Wynn. Fastball in there, up and in, 2-1. Wynn is 1 for 1 so far in this ball game. Had a base hit up the middle, just off the glove of Arias. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Wynn. Fouled off, 2-2. That was the fastball outside. Good pitch. So we'll see if Wynn can stay alive here. Look for something to hit. The 2-2 from Cecconi. Curveball outside, pulled in the air to left field. Easy play for the shortstop, Arias, for out number 1. So 1 out, that's going to bring up Alec Burleson. Burleson is 0 for 1 so far in the game. He struck out his first time up. Hitting just below 300 on the year. First pitch to Burleson in the 3rd. He's in there with the changeup outside. It's 0-1. The 0-1 from Cecconi to Burleson. He's low and in with the changeup, 1-1. Burleson is a guy that I would think would be able to hit Cecconi's stuff, especially if he leaves one at the top of the zone. But you only believe it when you see it. Here's the 1-1. Fastball at the top of the zone, driven out to left center field, back at the wall, but it's caught at the track by Stephen Kwan. So Burleson let that one tail off his bat, just a little too much off the end of it. And there are 2 down with nobody on. Couple of warning track shots for the Cardinals today. Neither of them resulting in anything, which is unfortunate. But that will bring up Wilson Contreras, who is 0 for 0 as he walked his first time up. Here's the first pitch. In there with the fastball up and away, it's 0-1. Contreras has been walking a ton recently. But we'll see if he can find something to drive here. The 0-1 from Cecconi. Up and in with the sinker, it's 1-1. Nobody on, 2 outs in the third. The Cardinals lead 1-0. The 1-1 pitch from Cecconi to Contreras. He is driven out to right field. That one low and away. He gets the barrel to it at the wall and caught at the track by Jones. That's the 3rd warning track shot of the game for the Cardinals. They still lead 1-0. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Contreras is frustrated. It's going to bring up Arias. Gabriel Arias. Hasn't been too great of a hitter this year. Strikes out just a little too much. Also a pretty low walk rate, so those 2 things will kill your numbers. As he does have about a league average exit velocity, barrels the ball up a good amount. But all of those expected stats are pulled down by that strikeout rate. So that is what's getting him. Also, the launch angle isn't great, so pulls his expected batting average down even worse at just 10th percentile. So Arias could be a really solid hitter if he got that launch angle fixed. So really it's just squaring up the ball. You can see his first percentile at that. The swing plane clearly isn't matching the ball on a consistent basis, and that is going to be leading to a lot of strikeouts and a poor launch angle. So that is what's killing him. It's good news for the Cardinals, though, as Mikolas is on the mound. And we are going to the bottom of the 3rd. I don't know if the game is back. Seems like it's frozen. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's not. Oh, now it is. Okay, here we go. All right, so a very long ad break there. First pitch to Arias is a swing and a miss inside with the sinker. It is 0-1. Arias was just a 227 average this year. A lot of strikeouts. The 0-1 pitch. In there with the fastball low and away, it's 0-2. Against the guy with Arias' numbers, I would probably go straight to the curveball here. Try to get something that's tough to read. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Gabriel Arias. They do go to the curveball, and he does swing and miss. That is strike 3, and down goes Arias. So that's going to bring up Austin Hedges. That is the 5th strikeout of the game for Miles Mikolas. It's a really effective game from him so far. Austin Hedges is the catcher today for the Guardians, hitting just 108 on the year with a 470 OPS. Misses, gets the call up and in with the curveball. It's 0-1. That was probably not a strike. But the 0-1 pitch, just outside with the sinker. It is 1-1. So a couple pitches just outside the zone there, gets the call on one of them. Nobody on, one out. The 1-1 to Hedges is the curveball at the top of the zone, popped in the air to right field. Out is Burleson, who makes a running grab at the line. What a catch by Burleson for out number 2. Burleson's outfield has been incredible to watch recently, and there's another one where he turned on the Jets at the end of the run to make sure he caught the ball. That's what you need out of a right fielder who's sometimes, a spot player. They're putting him out there with Walker in and out of the lineup with injuries, and to get his bats in the lineup. And he is doing his job fantastically as of late in right field. Here's the pitch to Quan. It's in there for a strike with the slider. 0-1. That is some fantastic stuff from Burleson. The 0-1 pitch is outside with the curveball. 1-1. Mikolas throwing his 36th pitch of the game. It's popped up by Quan. Playable in left field for Nootbaar. He will make the grab. A couple Newts flying through the stadium. And we go to the 4th. It is 1-0 Cardinals. Speaking of Nootbaar, he is going to be due up first at the top of the 4th. All right, so let's grab our Newt stats here. So he's got the strikeout rate back down at 52nd percentile, which is above average in the percentiles. Below average strikeout rate at 21.4. That is huge for Nootbaar. Expected slug on its way back up. The expected batting average is still pretty low, but he's hitting the ball hard, barreling it up a good amount. This is basically on par with what you'd expect from Nootbaar, but we're hoping the OPS goes back to its 759 rate with a few more homers in recent games and maybe some more base hits as well, as the average, despite it being expected to be 246, is at 227. So that's a big thing. Just don't strike out. Get some more singles and drive the ball some more. So that's what we're looking for out of Nootbaar. It'll be Arenado and Gorman as well. I do want to see where Arenado sits at the outs above average, because it's weird. There are plays where, just 1 out above average. That's insane. They have him as a low range third baseman, but a lot of hard hit baseballs just don't get by this guy, and he's going to bare hand the plays that a lot of guys won't be able to make as well. So, I guess he's aging a little bit, maybe not moving left and right as much as possible. He has hurt us a couple times by cutting off Mason Wynn on baseballs that get off his glove, but he's still playing great defense. He don't have to force it. Very, very low strikeout rate will be great if Nootbaar can reach base here. Contact numbers have been down for a while, but he can still homer, so is what it is. First pitch to Nootbaar looked like it was out of the zone. It was. It is a changeup below the zone. It's 1-0. Nootbaar leading off the 4th inning for the Cardinals. Cecconi at pitch number 62 here. The 1-0 to Nootbaar. Ground ball to the right-hand side. Easy play at second base. And that play is made by Schneemann for out number 1. So that does bring up Nolan Arenado, playing DH today. He is 0 for 1. First pitch from Cecconi. Curveball inside. It is 1-0. And the 1-0 is a fastball right down the middle for a strike. It's 1-1. So now we are live once again. And it's going to freeze. All right. There we go. Arenado digs back in. Nobody on, 1 out in the 4th. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball again, right down the middle for strike 2. That one was a sinker, though, so it did move from the outside part of the plate into the center. That's what got him. And that's why Cecconi's up in the count 1-2. The pitch to Arenado, another fastball low and away for strike 3. Great pitch from Cecconi. Played the sinker over the middle, made that one look a little different by making it the 4-seam, but didn't make it curve, just froze him on the lower outside corner for strike 3. So some crafty pitching from Slade Cecconi for out number 2. That is his 4th strikeout of the game, and that brings up Nolan Gorman. First pitch to Gorman is fouled back. 94 right down the middle. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to Gorman is a fastball inside, 1-1. In his last at-bat, Gorman was robbed by Nolan Jones in right field on an inside pitch in on the hands where he turned on it, but just barely got robbed right in front of the track. The 1-1 pitch to Cecconi. He is an outside slider, 2-1. Cardinals across the board have been hitting the ball hard. Not a lot of results from that, as a lot of warning track shots have been caught by the outfielders of the Guardians. The 2-1 is the curveball on the outside part of the plate, 2-2. So that was a good pitch from Cecconi. Evens the count at 2, with nobody on and 2 outs in the 4th. Looking for a 1-2-3 inning. The 2-2, swing and a miss on a fastball outside. Down goes Gorman, and it is still 1-0 Guardians midway through the 4th. That was a great inning from Cecconi. Did he strike out the side? I think he did. All right, so Manzardo, Ramirez, and Santana. I do want to see Manzardo's stats. I think we might have looked at them. Yeah, we did. But above average batting run value. Just a 222 average. 440 slugging. So the slugging's carrying the OPS for sure. Strikeout rate pretty high. Walk rate pretty good, but it's not enough to make up for that strikeout rate, which is pulling down the expected batting average and the slug. Good barrel rate. Hits the ball pretty hard. I mean, not bad across the board, 12 homers, but just not getting on base as much as you would like. He is 24 years old, though, and he's been above average, so can you complain? I mean, not exactly. Let's see. Obviously, Jose Ramirez is all red. We'll get him on the screen, and we'll leave him there. Super low strikeout rate. Obviously, the average exit velos are going down a little bit as he gets older, but one of the best hitters in baseball. That's not going to change anytime soon. Also, I mean, 41 stolen bases last year and 21 so far this year is crazy. Sprint speed, 76th percentile. First pitch is up and away to Kyle Manzardo. It is 1-0. That was the curveball from Mikolas. Second pitch driven in the air to center field. Back at the wall is Scott, and it's gone. A solo bomb for Kyle Manzardo ties this game at 1. 13th home run of the year for Manzardo, 33rd RBI, 416 feet to dead center, 105 off the bat. Take another look at the pitch. It's just a sinker right over the middle of the plate at 93. That is Manzardo's wheelhouse, and he crushed it. So it is 1-1 now in the 4th. Here's the first pitch to Jose Ramirez with nobody on and nobody out. A strike with the slider up and away. It's 0-1. So we'll see if Mikolas can settle back in. This will be his 40th pitch of the game. He's been relatively efficient. Curveball misses outside. It's 1-1. Obviously, J. Ram, one of the best players in baseball, did strike out his first time up. The 1-1 from Mikolas is up and away with the sinker. 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Curveball, caught the outside corner, 2-2. Great pitch from Mikolas there. So the count is even 2-2 with Carlos Santana on deck. 2-2 pitch to Ramirez. Right down the middle, pulled foul, still 2-2. Ramirez does have a very low strikeout rate, so it is surprising to see him strike out just once in a game. It'd be very surprising to see it twice. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball. Right hand side, easy play at first base. Contreras will lose the race to the bag. But they call him out, so I might be wrong about that. We're going to see if that one is challenged. Looks like it won't be, so Mikolas made the mistake of not covering first. Contreras had to adjust, and I guess he got there first, so they will not challenge. And there's one out with nobody on in the fourth for Carlos Santana. First pitch to Santana is a swing and a miss. On a changeup low and away, it's 0-1. Santana also struck out his first time up. The 0-1 pitch from Mikolas is low and in with the sinker, 1-1. The 1-1 is inside with the fastball, 2-1 on Santana. Santana does have 9 homers on the year. Average a little bit low at 233. We'll see if Mikolas can find the zone once again. The 2-1 pitch to Santana. Curveball caught the top of the zone. Great pitch from Mikolas to settle in. It is 2-2. So that is the main thing for Mikolas, is to not let himself fall behind these hitters. And not let that solo homer get to him. It happens. It is baseball. The 2-2 to Santana. Outside 3-2. That was the fastball. And now you're going to have to give him one to hit. Santana does have 333 homers in his career. 749 extra base hits. The 3-2. Low and in, and that is ball 4. So Santana will reach on the walk, and that brings up Lane Thomas. Thomas is 0 for 1 with a strikeout today, but has a man on and 1 out in the fourth. First pitch fouled back on a sinker up and in. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is at the top of the zone, fouled back with the sinker. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count, 1 man on with 1 out. We'll see if Mikolas can get a chase here. Seems unlikely, as the Cardinals are playing for the double play ball. The 0-2, just upstairs with the fastball, 1-2. But the real reason it seems unlikely is that Lane Thomas just doesn't chase that often. We'll see if we can get a curveball ground out here. The 1-2. There's a curveball smoked out to left field. That one's going to be down. Nootbaar's going to play it up against the wall. And Santana will advance to third. It's a double, putting runners at second and third with 1 out. Lane Thomas went out and got that curveball. It just hung out a little bit higher than Mikolas wanted it over the middle of the plate. And Nootbaar had to go get it off the left field wall. So with runners at second and third, Schneemann at the plate. The Cardinals infield will probably come in. First pitch to Schneemann. Swing and a miss on a slider up and in. It's 0-1. Mikolas trying to maintain a 1-1 ball game here and not let any further damage happen in the fourth. The 0-1 pitch to Daniel Schneemann. Upstairs with the fastball, it's 1-1. Schneemann does have the platoon advantage against Mikolas. We'll see if he can find the right pitch to get strike two here. Here's the 1-2 to Schneemann. Right over the middle of the plate, ground ball to first. Sorry, it was a ground ball to second. That's going to score the run. I got faked out by Contreras, but Santana does come in to score. It is 2-1 Guardians in the fourth. That did also move Lane Thomas over to third. So with the Guardians now having a 2-1 lead, it's going to be Nolan Jones at the plate with Thomas on third. Here's the first pitch from Mikolas to Jones. It is up and in with the slider, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Pulled foul, 1-1. The 1-1 from Mikolas to Jones. The 60th pitch of the game from Mikolas. Doesn't get the call on a curveball low and away. It's 2-1. This is a big at-bat in the game. Jones at the plate with a man on third and 2 outs. Mikolas trying to stop him at 2. The 2-1 pitch missed low and away with the changeup, and it's 3-1 now on Jones with Gabriel Arias on deck. Here is the 3-1 pitch from Mikolas to Jones. Popped foul, 3-2. So now it is a big pitch in the ball game. Mikolas can get this out. It would freeze the momentum of the Guardians and give the Cardinals a chance to strike back. If he gives up a hit, it would be 3-1 Guardians. The 3-2 pitch to Jones. Driven in the air to center field. Scott is back at the wall. It's off the wall. Nootbaar is going to have to play it off the wall. Extra bases for Jones. And with a double, it is now 3-1 Guardians. That ball was crushed. Went with the sinker over the middle of the plate. Jones had quick hands, got to it early, drove it the other way. And there was no play for Victor Scott in left center. So with a man on second and 2 outs, that will bring up Gabriel Arias. But first, Dusty Blake is going to come out to speak with Mikolas. So we're going to try to settle down Mikolas here. Keep the Cardinals within 2 runs in this ball game. This is still very winnable. Cecconi's been pretty good, but his stuff is definitely hittable. But another man in scoring position here with Gabriel Arias at the plate. This is going to be another important out to get for Mikolas. First pitch to Arias. Outside 1-0. The 1-0 is up and in. Check swing. No, he didn't. It's 2-0. Arias struck out his first time up as a .333 average this season with runners in scoring position. Here's the 2-0. Swing and a miss on a curveball below the zone. It's 2-1. As Jones swipes third, that makes it a little easier for the Guardians to score on a hit here. Mikolas wasn't real worried about it. Here's the 2-1 to Arias. Driven in the air to left center. Nootbaar is going to have to watch that one go, and it is gone. A 2-run homer for Gabriel Arias puts the Guardians up 5-1 in the fourth, and it is a disastrous inning for Miles Mikolas. 6th home run of the year for Arias. 105.4 off the bat, 427 feet. It was a curveball right down the middle. Arias saw it and tracked it perfectly. Didn't even look that hard, but it was absolutely smoked, as it turned out. So with a 5-1 lead, Austin Hedges hits one out to right field for a base hit, and now it'll be Steven Kwan as the Guardians are rallying in the fourth. So it was Manzardo, Santana, Thomas, Jones, and Arias all came around to score in this inning. First pitch to Kwan is inside, 1-0. With Hedges on first, the 70th pitch of the game now from Mikolas to Kwan. Fouled back, 1-1. Kwan is 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts today. The Cardinals now have their work cut out for them. They're down by 4 runs in the fourth inning. Still a winnable game against Cecconi. Oh, whoops. Great. As Kwan drives one high in the air to right field. Back and gone. Or no, off the top of the wall. Burleson didn't even see it. He had to go find it. It's going to be a triple for Steven Kwan, and it is 6-1 Guardians. So Mikolas having about as bad of a fourth inning as it gets. That one was another hanger over the middle of the plate. It hit the yellow line at the top of the wall. I thought it bounced over it, but turned out it just ricocheted off the top of the wall, and Burleson couldn't find it. So now the first pitch to Manzardo. The Guardians have bat around as the curveball misses outside. It's 1-0 on Manzardo. Kwan now on third. First pitch. Swing and a miss on a slider up and in. Sorry, that was the second pitch. It's 1-1. There is something that I had scheduled. For right now, that's why I'm a little distracted, but here is the 1-1 from Mikolas to Manzardo. Driven in the air to right center field. Back is Scott. He makes the catch on the run at the track. What a play by Scott to end the inning. And we go to the fifth, but it's a 6-run fourth for the Guardians. And they lead 6-1 against the Cardinals. All right, Joel Pozo is at the plate as Cecconi catches the zone with a fastball low and in. It's 0-1. Cardinals have their work cut out for them, as I did say. They're down by 5 now in the 5th. Let's see if Pozo can start a rally for the Redbirds. As a slider misses low and away, it's 1-1. Pozo is a guy who puts the ball in play a ton, but he struck out earlier today. It is 1-1. Here's the pitch from Cecconi to Pozo. Fouled back, 1-2. We're looking for Pozo to go ahead and get a base hit here, as the key to the game has changed from Brad Thompson. He said 1 at a time. I agree. You go ahead and start chipping back into this lead. Pozo could get a rally started, though. You could have Pozo, Scott, Donovan, and Wynn all reaching base for the boppers here if you want a big inning. The 1-2 from Cecconi. Reaches out and pops this one into the air in right field. Easy play. And catch is made by Jones for out number 1. So that's going to bring up Victor Scott. Scott is 1 for 1 in the game today. So we'll see if he can find some more green grass in this at-bat. First pitch from Cecconi to Scott is driven out to center field the other way. Stephen Kwan will make that catch for out number 2. So 2 outs, and that will bring up Brendan Donovan in the 5th. Donovan is 1 for 2 with a solo homer today. He scored the solo run for the Cardinals today. Nothing else on the board for the Redbirds. Just 3 hits. One of those was the homer. First pitch to Donovan is low, 1-0. Few big hitters due up for the Cardinals here. We'll see if Donovan can get on base and give Wynn or Burleson a chance. With 2 outs in the 5th, here's the 1-0 from Cecconi. Inside out swing, 1-1. That was a sinker at the top of the zone. The 1-1 pitch from Cecconi to Donovan. Curveball caught the outside corner, didn't get the call. It's 2-1. So Donovan gets a little bit lucky on that call. See if he can go ahead and reach base here. The 2-1 from Cecconi to Donovan. Sinker just inside. It's 3-1. On deck is Mason Wynn. Could be a big chance to drive in a run for Wynn if Donovan can reach. The 3-1 from Cecconi. Misses downstairs with the sinker, and that is ball 4. Cecconi asks for a new baseball as Donovan's on first, with Mason Wynn stepping up to the plate. So Donovan's reached base twice in the game. Wynn is 1 for 2. An extra base hit here could score Donovan, but it would have to be in a corner or a deep gap. Let's see what Wynn has in store for us. The first pitch from Cecconi. Slider pulled down the left field line into the corner. That one is the left field corner, so Donovan is going to stop at third. It is a double for Mason Wynn. Stephen Kwan really fast to get out there and prevent the run from scoring. But Wynn does have an extra base hit, and the Cardinals are threatening in the 5th. 2 outs, runners on second and third for Alec Burleson. That was a hanging slider over the outside part of the plate. Wynn put the barrel on it and pulled it down the line. Great swing from Wynn. He is 2 for 3. And Burleson coming up, but guess that is it for Cecconi? Nope. No, it isn't. Guardians pitching coach is out to speak with Cecconi. He clapped, so I thought he was going to go ahead and take the ball from him. But he did not. So Cecconi will stay in to face Burleson. Let's see if Burleson can drive in these 2 runs and get the Cardinals back in this ball game. They're down by 5 in the 5th with 2 outs and 2 men in scoring position. First pitch to Burleson from Cecconi. Popped up. Foul ground. It's going to get out of play. It's 0-1. Burleson is 0 for 2 in the game today with a strikeout. But if he can catch one of those fastballs, he might be able to drive it. And it does seem that the ball is flying today in Cleveland. So let's see where he drives this one. 2 men in scoring position at second and third. 2 outs. The 0-1 from Cecconi to Burleson. Up and in. Taken for a ball. That was a fastball. It's 1-1. They could pitch around Burleson with an open base, but Contreras is on deck. The 1-1 pitch. Missed low with the sinker. 2-1. So eventually they're going to have to put it in the zone against Burleson. A lot of space in that outfield. The 2-1 pitch from Cecconi to Burleson. Low and in, pulled down the right field line. Way foul, but way in the air as well. It is 2-2. So a fan was probably put in danger by that baseball, is all I'm saying. Nobody saw that one coming. So 2 outs, 2-2 count with 2 men in scoring position. Pitch number 87 of the game for Cecconi. Big chance for Burleson to get the Cardinals back in the game. The 2-2 pitch. Inside with the fastball, it's 3-2. They could still pitch around Burleson. They could throw something in the dirt here, but Wilson Contreras is waiting on deck, and that would be extremely risky. Contreras has already walked in the game. Here's the 3-2 from Cecconi to Burleson. Inside out swing to left field. That ball is down for a base hit. Both runs are going to come in to score, and Burleson has a 2 RBI single. It is 6-3 Guardians in the 5th. The Cardinals are chipping back into this one. Huge base hit for Burleson to give the Cardinals a better chance in the rest of this ball game. It was an inside-out swing. He found the bloop grass in left field between Quan and the third baseman, and that is all that it takes. Jose Ramirez had no chance to get out there. And that is it for Slade Cecconi in this one. 4 2/3 for 3 earned runs. He's also responsible for Burleson. Let's see who they go to out of the pen. I was able to see the face, but I did not recognize him, although I believe this is a pitcher I've seen before. So we will take a look here. I'm going to type in Junis. Is it Junis? They do have the lead, so I wonder if Junis... Probably not. That doesn't look like this guy. Yeah, that's not it. Cade Smith might be who this is. I'm going to have to grab... It might have been Cade Smith. I mean, Cade Smith is a really good righty. Facing Contreras with him would make sense. I think it was Cade Smith. I mean, I can't confirm it. Didn't get a great look at him. Might have had longer hair than that. Whoops, that's the Cardinals. Okay. At this point, I'll just look at whoever it is when the game comes back, but it's Matt Festa. Okay. So let's grab that. See, I was thinking of David Festa. That's why I didn't think it was him, but it's Matt Festa. That makes sense. 0.98 whip, 3.98 ERA, low barrel rate, high hard hit rate, low average exit velocity, also a pretty low walk rate. I mean, what do you do against this? You stay alive, and you just hit a base hit. That seems to be the best way to beat this, is just keep fouling pitches off, find an open spot, just hit a base hit. That's going to be the plan. So, Burleson is on first. Contreras fouls off a fastball. It's 0-1. Matt Festa with a 3.98 ERA, 0.98 whip. He's pitched better than that ERA so far this year. He's probably the only unlucky Guardian. Has not allowed a homer in this season. The 0-1 pitch to Contreras. Swing and a miss on a cutter at the top of the zone. It's 0-2. Two outs, 0-2 count with Burleson on first. The pitch to Contreras. Fouled off. Great at-bat from Contreras here. Even though that was his only foul ball so far, he really made a great swing at that one in order to stay alive. That was a fantastic pitch from Festa. Up and in, a backdoor breaking ball, and Contreras was able to recognize it late and get up there with the bat to stay alive. So 2 outs, man on first. Here's another 0-2 pitch to Contreras. That one right down the middle with the sweeper. Popped up. Contreras did not get all of that one. A little bit more frustration. It's a fly out to right field, and we'll go to the bottom of the fifth. 6-3 Guardians after a 2-run inning from the Cardinals. So Jose Ramirez will get another look at the Cardinals next inning. Cardinals could go to the bullpen, but we haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to wait on that. As I do have something to take care of, I'll be right back. All right, the game is back. Looks like the Cardinals are going to go to the bullpen here. It's going to be Matt Swanson, the long reliever. Missed downstairs with the cutter. It's 1-0 on J-Ram. Sinker at the bottom of the zone, crushed out to center field, but the wrong part of the ballpark. Catch made by Victor Scott for out number 1, so that is going to bring up Carlos Santana. All right, it is 0-2 on Santana. My apologies. The pitch is in there, but doesn't get the call on the sweeper. Up and away, it's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch is upstairs. 2-2 on Santana. That one popped foul, still 2-2. Swanson on his 9th pitch of the game. He's recorded 1 out. Still nobody allowed on base. The Cardinals still trail 6-3 to the Guardians. Swing and a miss on a sweeper low and in. Down goes Santana, and there's 2 outs. Here comes Lane Thomas. All right, it's 1-1, 2 outs, base is empty. The pitch to Lane Thomas is in there with the cutter, 1-2. The 1-2 is way upstairs, 2-2. Ground ball, left side. Mason Wynn makes the throw to first for the 3rd out. We will go to the 6th. It is still 6-3 Guardians. Great inning from Swanson. It's going to be Nootbaar, Arnado, Gorman. Hopefully I can get back to full commentary in just a moment, but it might be a little longer. All right, the game is back. All right. 0-2 to Nootbaar is driven the other way. Great diving stop made by Arias, and he makes the play. No! First baseman Santana is pulled off the base by the throw, and Nootbaar has an infield hit. So one man on with nobody out for Nolan Arenado. Arenado with a base hit into right field on the 1-0. Deep center field, Nootbaar is going to be able to go first to third, and there's runners at the corners with nobody out in the 6th. The Cardinals are rallying back into this one. Nootbaar and Arenado with back-to-back hits. Here comes Gorman. Gorman pulls the first pitch foul. It was a sweeper. It's 0-1. The 0-1 to Nootbaar is a base hit up the middle. So it is now 6-4 Guardians. Great job by Gorman. Nootbaar comes in to score. 2 men on with nobody out. And here comes Joel Pozo. So we'll see they are talking to Festa here with 2 men on. First pitch upstairs to Pozo. The 1-0 is pulled over through for a base hit. Stephen Kwan will make the play in left, and now the bases are loaded with nobody out in the 6th. So a huge rally from the Cardinals. Base hit after base hit. And now it will be Victor Scott with the bases loaded and nobody out. But first, they're going to go to the bullpen. Obviously, it's going to be a lefty here to face Donovan and Scott. So we'll see who that is in a moment. All right, so my bad. That was a little bit of a delay. Trying to figure out a few things. So let's see. Is there a pitcher we don't know yet? Slade? Nope, Slade was their starter. That was lagging. I'm going to check. Okay, there we go. They're going to give us the info here. Eventually they'll get to it. Nope, they're just talking about some Hall of Famer. So the first glimpse we'll even get at the game is going to be, here we go. It is a lefty. Still not showing the name. There we go. It's Tim Herrin, a 3.81 ERA. I'm just going to have to get straight to the game. We'll get to his numbers in a moment. The pitch to Scott is a base hit to left field. Out in right field, Jones. Sorry, I said the wrong field, dude. I'm so lost today, but it's a 2-run double for Victor Scott to right field. Both runs came in to score. It is 6-6. I was distracted this entire inning. I wish I could have given a better call to this entire inning because this is a heck of a rally from the Cardinals. But the cool thing is they're scoring the runs. It is 6-6 with runners on second and third, and that's going to bring up the top of the order. That was a hanging slider over the middle of the plate. Scott drove it over the first baseman Santana's head. Jones had to play it up against the wall, and Scott noticed that the throw was coming in slowly to Santana and took second base. First pitch to Donovan is upstairs. It's 1-0. Tim Herrin has a 3.81 ERA now after those couple of runs have scored. And the infield is in on Brendan Donovan. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss on a sinker at the top of the zone, 1-1. Donovan hitting .302 on the year. He is 1 for 2 with a walk in this one, also has a homer. The 1-1 pitch from Herrin. Hit in the air to center field. Back is the center fielder, Lane Thomas, and Pozo is going to come in to score. 7-6 Cardinals. The Cardinals have the lead. Victor Scott also somehow took third base there, and he is at third with 1 out. So the Cardinals have another chance for a sac fly here with Mason Wynn stepping up to the plate. What an inning from the Cardinals. Thomas made a really strong throw over to third, but Victor Scott got his hand in by a millisecond. So with a man on third and 1 out, here's the first pitch from Herrin to Wynn. Low and in with the curveball, it is 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Right down the middle with the curveball, fouled back, 1-1. Wynn is 4 for 6 with 2 sac flies. He's driven in the run 7 times with a runner on third and fewer than 2 outs. That is incredible. The 1-1 pitch. Chopper the other way. It is going to score the run. Victor Scott scores on a ground out by Mason Wynn, and it is 8-6 Cardinals in the 6th. That is a 5-run 6th inning. And a heck of a job by the Redbirds as Alec Burleson steps up to the plate with a 2-run lead. First pitch from Herrin to Burleson is outside, 1-0. This inning began with Nootbaar. It's reached all the way back around to Burleson. The 1-0 pitch is in there with the sinker up and away, 1-1. If Burleson goes down here, it would only be Contreras who didn't see action in this inning. As the 1-1 is in there with the fastball, 1-2. Base hits by everybody in the Cardinal lineup, and then a sac fly and a ground out by Donovan and Wynn. As Burleson swings and misses at a curveball. He's frustrated today, but it is 8-6 Cardinals as we go to the bottom of the 6th. So we can take a quick look at Tim Herron. What an inning. So coming into this game, he had a 3.76 ERA, 1.44 whip. So that's already not great. But pretty low expected batting average. You know, when people make contact, they do not barrel him very often. But he does give up some hard hit baseballs. That being said, expected batting average against was only 231. So to be able to take one to right field like Victor Scott did is very impressive. And that was huge in this game. So what a rally by the Cardinals. They lead by 2. And it's going to be Schneemann, Jones, and Arias. With Swanson having already knocked out an inning. It's going to be 6, 7, 8, and 9. That's 4 more innings left to pitch. I wonder if Swanson gets another inning. He looked great in that first inning, but it was a long break. So I'm going to look at the Cardinal bullpen now. Swanson is the long reliever. I'll take a look at the handedness of Schneemann, Jones, and Arias as well. I think that's easy. It's going to be clearer on here, right? Yeah. So lefty, lefty, and righty. And then another lefty. Well, Naylor's not in the lineup, though. But lefty, lefty, righty for sure. So back over here. 2 lefties and a righty, and then Kwan. So you probably want to bring in a lefty. I would just probably go to Matz, right? Is this the wrong day? No, this is correct. Yeah, Matz is very available. Yep, it is Steven Matz. So there you go. The Cardinals are going to go to Steven Matz. We'll go ahead and grab his numbers. 1.12 whip, 3.5 ERA. He's been a little above average this year. Low expected batting average against, very low walk rate, and low barrel rate. So that's great. Just soft contact. Gets a strikeout in average amount. Gets a ground ball in above average amount. That's just good pitching. There's no real attack strategy against him, as he misses up and into Schneemann for ball 1. With this defense behind him, you have to beat him with contact, and that's incredibly difficult to do. The 1-0 pitch to Schneemann. In there with the sinker, 1-1. So it makes sense what Marmol is going for here. Here's the 1-1. Right down the middle, fouled back, 1-2. Cardinals bats have woken up in Cleveland. And the pitching has only allowed 1 inning of runs all series so far. This is the second game of the series. But all of those runs came in that 4th inning. It was 6 of them. So it is what it is. It's 8-6, as that was a ground out by Schneemann over to first. And that brings up Nolan Jones. Jones is 1 for 2 so far today. Had a run scored back in that huge 4th inning. First pitch is just low with the curveball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch from Matz to Jones is in there with the sinker, 1-1. So another lefty-lefty here. The 1-1 from Matz to Jones. Pulled over to first base. Ended up being a play for Donovan as he ranged over. And that was out number 2. So that's going to bring up Gabriel Arias. Looks like Dave Parker made it into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Had a career 810 OPS, over 1,000 RBIs. As this one's chopped back over the head of Matz, a barehanded play for Wynn, unable to make it, and it's a base hit for Gabriel Arias. Went off the bare hand of Wynn. It was a good attempt. That was the only way they were going to get him on that high chopper. So a good infield hit for Arias, just cued it over everybody's head. There was nothing anyone could do. That's going to bring up Austin Hedges, who has a hit in the game today. He is 1 for 2. But hitting just 119 on the year as Matz falls off the mound and restables himself. So 1 man on with 2 outs. Hopefully Matz keeps his balance here. First pitch, right down the middle, pulled foul. It's 0-1. Cardinals lead it 8-6 in the 6th with 2 outs and a man on. Matt's about to throw his 10th pitch of the game. The 0-1. Outside 1-1. Obviously, with Steven Kwan on deck, you expect Matz to maybe go through another hitter in this one, as he was a former starter. He can go multiple innings. So we'll look out for that at the top of the order. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss by Austin Hedges. It's 1-2. One guy the Guardians might be missing right now at the catching position is David Fry. He'd be a good hitter to face Matz. Here's the 1-2 to Hedges. Upstairs with the curveball, 2-2. So 1 man on with 2 outs. 2-2 count on Hedges. Another pitch from Matz. Popped up. That one's going to be playable. Behind the plate, it is Pozo. He makes the catch, and we will go to the 7th. It is still 8-6 Cardinals. Great inning from Matz. So Wilson Contreras will finally see the game today, or the plate. Since he hasn't seen the plate in 2 innings, everybody else saw it last inning. He did get frustrated after popping one up earlier today, so maybe he will get a hold of one this time. Walk rate is now finally at an average rate. I believe it's going to be above average after this game, because he did walk today. Contact numbers are still good, although the exit velocity has been going down recently. But just that strikeout rate from that really rough stretch early in the season still kind of tanking all of his numbers, keeping him just 746. He's usually up at around 800 or higher. But some great baseball from Contreras since that tough start, so we can't really complain. Contreras, Nootbaar, Arenado. Herron already pitched. He's a lefty. Let's see who is available. I mean, probably, well, Junis pitched yesterday. So that's why they didn't go to him earlier. Vesta's already pitched. It's kind of a close game. Wouldn't be surprised to see Cade Smith. Or just sticking with Herron, maybe, but probably not. Just going to pull Cade Smith just in case. He's a guy who likely doesn't get an entire inning when he comes in, so maybe he won't be the guy they go to. Kobe Allard is who they're going to go to. So here's this guy, Colby Allard, 1.43 whip. 2.76 ERA, very low strikeout rate, but a very low walk rate as well. So the ball gets put in play against this lefty, and it's usually softly hit, but in the air. So that has some negative implications at times on those line drives. Swing and a miss by Contreras. Actually had a couple of them. It's 0-2. The 0-2 pitch from Colby Allard to Wilson Contreras in the 7th. Right down the middle, pulled out to left center field. That one is down, and Contreras is in on the action. He has extra bases off the wall. And there's a man on second with nobody out. So everybody on the Cardinals has a hit today, including Contreras, who has a double. And with a man on second and nobody out, here comes Lars Nootbaar. Nootbaar started the huge rally last inning. We'll see if the Cardinals can stay active here. First pitch to Newt is low and away with the cutter, 1-0. The 1-0 from Allard to Nootbaar with a man on second is a strike at the top of the zone with the fastball, 1-1. So with nobody out and Contreras on second, Nootbaar has a chance to advance the runner here. The 1-1 is outside, 2-1. Newt is ready. Here's the 2-2 from Allard. Popped up, left field, and into the seats. 2-2. Nootbaar is 1 for 3 today. His base hit started the rally last inning. Has a chance to advance Contreras here and give the Cardinals an even bigger lead. The 2-2 pitch. Upstairs with the curveball, 3-2. Contreras on second, 3-2 count. The pitch from Allard to Nootbaar. In there for strike 3 with the fastball on the outside part of the plate, and down goes Nootbaar. That's one you really need to make contact with. It was a close pitch, but it was in there, and if he goes ahead and puts the barrel on it and moves the runner over, it could set up a sac fly. Instead, now Contreras has to be scored on a hit, but Arenado's a guy who can help him out with that. Arenado's 1 for 3 in the game today, did come around and score. Last inning. As we have a pickoff attempt, but Contreras steals third. So Nootbaar did not have to advance him. Contreras did it himself. It's a stolen base for Contreras on a wild pickoff attempt by Allard, which was caught by the second baseman. But Contreras noticed and just took off toward third and stole the bag. So heads up running from Contreras after he was almost caught. And with a man on third and 1 out, the first pitch to Arenado is grounded over to short. They go to the plate and get Contreras. And they actually get Arenado on a double play as well, but we'll see if this one is overturned. I think you do want this overturned if you're the Cardinals. You do want a base runner on for Gorman, and to double check at the very least, because if you can go ahead and get Pozo and Scott in next inning, then you get the heart of the order at least one more time in the game to extend the lead. So the Cardinals will challenge that. I think Arenado is going to be safe at first, but Contreras will be out at the plate. So 2 outs with Arenado on first for Gorman. Hopefully we can get a good look at this. So the tag was easily applied to Contreras for sure. I believe his foot was on the base. We're going to see now. Yeah, he's safe, no doubt about that. So Arenado is going to be safe at first. 1 man on with 2 outs for Nolan Gorman. So a big swing of emotions over the course of this inning. The Contreras double was in our favor. The strikeout of Nootbaar made it look like we would need a hit to score him. Then the pickoff move moves him over to third, so it looks like he might score, and then Arenado's ground ball. He gets gunned down at the plate, which means he won't be scoring at all. And then you have Arenado just on first base now. So the swing of emotions. The final one, though, is that Arenado is safe after this challenge, which is in our direction. So we'll see if Gorman can maybe finish this swing in our favor. Cardinals are going to be trailing by 2, still leading by 2 over the Guardians, with Nolan Gorman stepping up to the plate. And Arenado on first with 2 outs. Gorman is 1 for 3. Had a really big hit during that rally. Last inning in the 6th. So Colby Allard, the lefty, is still on the mound. That makes sense. They want the lefty-lefty matchup with Gorman, but let's see if he can find a gap here in the 7th. First pitch from Allard to Gorman. Caught the top of the zone with the cutter. It's 0-1. The 0-1 is way upstairs with the curveball, 1-1. So the release point wasn't perfect on that one. Gorman does have 1 strikeout in the game today. You would expect that out of him, but hopefully he can avoid a second and deliver for the Redbirds here. The 1-1 is upstairs with the fastball, 2-1. Allard's 14th pitch of the game, the 2-1 to Gorman, is in there again with the cutter. That one drops just a little bit because it slows itself down with the seams. And it's been messing with Gorman. He's been taking those at the top of the zone. They look high to him, but then they drop back into the top. So hopefully he can read that this time. 1 man on and 2 outs. The 2-2 pitch from Allard to Gorman. Fastball outside, driven out to center field, but good read from Lane Thomas, and we'll go to the bottom of the 7th. It is still 8-6 Cardinals. So a little bit of a swing inning there. Hopefully the Cardinals can shut them down once again. I think Matz will stay in the game to face Kwan, and then we'll see what happens with Manzardo and Ramirez. I know Ramirez is a switch hitter, but I wonder what Manzardo is. Manzardo is pure lefty, so no switch for him. So you can go lefty Matz against Kwan and Manzardo. Does Kwan switch? I don't think so, right? Yeah, okay, sweet. So definitely leave Matz in, get those 2 outs, and then, I mean, against the switch hitter, in Ramirez, you probably don't care that much. You probably just leave Matz in for the entire inning. Although his splits are probably better on the right side. That's usually the case. We do get to take a look. Oh, this is the Cardinals. Sorry. Let's just do this. Could also just do this on the reference. Or, I mean, not the reference. The Savant. But I like seeing the individual years along with the entire career. But the career is what I'm looking for here. So let's just see. Career platoon splits for Ramirez against lefties. He is the same. This is incredible. Does it get more exactly the same than this? 858 OPS against righties, 857 OPS against lefties. So this supports actually leaving Matz in the game for all 3. By 1 point. That's the most incredible thing I've seen. So that's the thing I will remember from today. Steven Matz back on the mound. Kwan pops up a bunt to first, and it's caught by Contreras. So a terrible bunt from Kwan gets all the way in the air to first base to Contreras, who makes the catch. So 1 out, nobody on. Contreras is smiling and saying, we'll take it. And here comes Kyle Manzardo against Matz. Very weird lineup from the Guardians today to go with a bunch of lefties at the top, because that allows Matz to come in and stay in the game. Maybe that was their way of making sure they finally get a base runner. The 0-1 is low and away with the curveball, 1-1. I'm sure Mikolas didn't appreciate all of those left-handed bats, but Matz surely does. The 1-1 pitch. Up and in, popped up, playable for Matz and Pozo. But Gorman makes the call and the grab from third base. So 2 outs. With the bases empty. And that brings up Jose Ramirez. Maton is available if the Cardinals want to use him here, but they will. Okay. It is Jose Ramirez, so going with their best pitcher is a good idea. But Matt's only 17 pitches. Got everything that the Cardinals asked of him. An inning and 2/3, no runs. Good job by Steven Matz. Wilson Contreras gives him a huge thank you on the way out. So, base is empty with 2 outs. Here comes Ramirez. Might as well go ahead and grab Maton's numbers. All right, so the game is back, but Maton's not even made it to the mound yet, so he's going to be warming up for a little while. That can't be live. Maybe they're just talking about a few things. Yeah, there we go. Maton getting his warm-up in. Ramirez is 0 for 3 in the game so far. Maton with a 1.76 ERA. Almost everything has looked good for him. I'm actually just going to throw this up one more time. The one thing he needs to keep in mind is put it in the zone. Keep that walk rate a little bit lower. But all of the contact stats are very, very soft. Gets a lot of ground balls. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than this. So here we go. Maton versus J-Ram with the bases empty and 2 outs in the 7th. Maton might be asked to go a couple of innings here, or at least an inning and 2/3 is what I'm trying to say. But the first pitch to Ramirez is low, 1-0. Or I guess more precisely, they're probably going to ask Maton to go an inning and a third. Get through that 8th inning, pass it over to Helsley. The 1-0 to Ramirez is a sweeper low and in for a strike, 1-1. Nobody on, 2 outs. Really just don't give up a home run to Ramirez here. That's the challenge. The 1-1 from Maton is in there for a strike with the curveball, 1-2. Jose Ramirez having a rough game so far. A strikeout, ground out, and fly out for him. The 1-2 from Maton to J-Ram. Way up and away with the cutter. 2-2. It makes sense that they're going to a new pitcher just to face J-Ram because a solo bomb would make a huge difference in this one, especially with Helsley as your closer. The 2-2. Ground ball foul. Still 2-2. Helsley's been a candidate to walk a lot of players this season. Also gives up a lot of hard-hit baseballs, so solo bombs are possible. That's why Maton's in the game, to prevent one from Ramirez. The 2-2 pitch to Jose. Liner caught at first base by Contreras. So we go to the 8th. It is 8-6 Cardinals. Definitely not my best job today, but did have to take a break. I'll be right back. So let's leave Pozo's numbers up. I'll leave their bullpen up. See who they might go to here. I'll be right back. My bad. That is going to be the last. Well, it won't be the last time I leave the room. I'm going to leave the room one more time. But we are back. 2 men on with 2 outs. I'm going to have to figure out what happened here. Looks like Mason Wynn got a hit. But let's go back. Jeez. So Victor Scott popped out. Ooh. Oh, and Pozo flew out to left. So it was a quick 2 pitches, 2 outs for Allard. Then Donovan drew a walk. Mason Wynn got a base hit to the right side of the field. That was to right field. And that brought up Alec Burleson. 2 outs, 2 on. First pitch from Allard to Burleson was popped up. Left side, and Arias made the grab. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. It is 8-6 Cardinals. I missed the entire half inning. But there you go. You're all caught up. So they left Allard in the game. We're going to leave Maton in the game, I have to assume, against Santana, Thomas, and Schneemann. So we'll leave Maton's numbers up. And for the last time of the game, I'll be back in about 10 seconds. All right. I'll finish this one off with some good commentary here. The game is back. Maton is still on the mound. It's going to be Maton against Santana, Thomas, and Schneemann. Garrett Hampson is entering the game to play right field, so Burleson is done. Makes sense from a defensive perspective. Let's protect this 2-run lead. First pitch to Santana is in there for a strike with the sinker. It's 0-1. That one was right down the middle. Maton trying to get it to Helsley in this one. Cardinals trying to win the series on the road against Cleveland. The 0-1 pitch to Santana. Chopped foul, 0-2. Santana 0 for 2 today. Does have a walk and a run scored, but also has a couple of strikeouts. So we'll see if Maton can add to that trend. The 0-2 pitch to Santana from Phil Maton. He is up and away with the cutter, 1-2. Santana does have 9 homers on the year, but there are no base runners for him here. Base is empty with nobody out. The 1-2 from Maton. He is up and away again with the cutter, 2-2. So the cutter not being commanded too well from Maton. See if they go to a different pitch now in an even count. 2-2 pitch to Santana. Ground ball off of Maton's arm into the air. Donovan is there and makes a good throw to first for the first out of the 8th. What a play by Donovan. He was off of Maton's arm. He's saying he's fine. Trainer's out to talk to him anyway, with a little bit of a laugh. But yeah, just hit off of, the elbow area. He's saying he's fine. It was not even his pitching elbow. Donovan had to track it out of the air and make a tough throw to first. And he did that, so credit to Donovan there. 1 out with nobody on. That brings up Lane Thomas. Thomas is 1 for 3 today. Did come around to score a run. Also has a strikeout in a rough season for him so far. First pitch from Maton to Thomas. Swing and a miss on the cutter up and in. It's 0-1. Thomas hitting just 173 this season with a 517 OPS. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on the curveball low and away. It is 0-2. Maton has been simply incredible for the Cardinals this year. The 0-2 pitch. Way low and away with the curveball, 1-2. And Marmol coached a very sensible game in the game today. I think maybe left Mikolas out there too long in the long inning. But outside of that, a great game. And curveball is swung on and missed by Thomas. So that is out number 2 in the 8th. And that brings up Daniel Schneemann. Schneemann is 0 for 3. Has yet to strike out in this game. Did pick up an RBI back in their big 4th inning. First pitch from Maton is low and in with the sweeper. It's 1-0. So we'll see if Maton can get this final out, set up the 7, 8, 9 hitters for Helsley. The 1-0 pitch is popped foul, 1-1. The thing about setting up the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, though, is probably just going to have a bunch of pinch hitters against you in that case, so careful what you wish for in that sense, but it's better than facing J-Ram. So the 1-1 misses inside with the cutter. It's 2-1. Next pitch to Schneemann from Maton. Right down the middle, fouled off, 2-2. Maton protecting a 2-run lead against the Guardians here. If we look around the league, there's a couple of interesting games going on. A 9-1 lead by the Royals over the Dodgers. And the Pirates lead 3-1 over the Mets. The 2-2 is just inside with the cutter. 3-2 now on Schneemann. The Padres lead the Reds. That could be good for the Cardinals. Here's the 3-2 from Maton to Schneemann. Outside, ball 4. That's a curveball that missed. And it's going to bring up Gabriel Arias. Arias has been great today for the Guardians. Has a home run and 2 hits out of 3 at-bats in the game. Does have a strikeout, though. Oh, my bad. It's going to bring up Nolan Jones. I was thinking through the 7, 8, 9 part of the order. But that was for next inning. So if Schneemann is who reached base, it's going to be Nolan Jones. Once they cut to his face, I was like, that's not Arias. So, okay. First pitch from Maton to Jones. Jones is 1 for 3 today. Right down the middle with the cutter. For strike 1, it's 0-1. Jones has just a 625 OPS on the year. Also has a strikeout in the game. The 0-1 pitch from Maton. Low and in, pulled, fair for a base hit. Hampson ranges over and makes the play on that ball, and there's runners at the corners with 2 outs in the 8th. So the Guardians are threatening to come back here, and now it's going to be Gabriel Arias. We'll see if Maton stays in the game to face him. Maton at 23 pitches. Arias batting from the right side, so Maton's probably your best guy for this regardless. Probably leave him in for one more hitter. Maybe a couple more. And then it's Helsley in the 9th. Here is the pitch from Maton to Arias. Swing and a miss on a curveball low and away. It's 0-1. Two outs, runners at the corners. Extra base hit could tie the game. The 0-1 from Maton to Arias. Just missed outside. I guess inside with the curveball there. 1-1. Jesus Christ. So it is 1-1 on Arias. Runners at the corners, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. It's an 8-6 lead for the Cardinals. The 1-1 pitch to Gabriel Arias is outside, 2-1. That was a curveball. Pulled it way outside. Cardinals are playing Arias to pull. So hopefully Maton finds the right part of the zone to get him to roll over. The 2-1 pitch to Arias. Misses way outside with the curveball again. It is 3-1. On deck is Austin Hedges. Hedges is 1 for 3 on the day. So 2 outs. Runners at the corners. 28th pitch of the inning from Maton. Here's the 3-1. Upstairs, ball 4. That was the cutter. Seems like Maton is at his limit. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs. You wonder if he should stay in the game to face Hedges here. Definitely get a lefty ready for Kwan. As Pozo steps out to talk to Maton. At the end of the day, it's better to face Hedges than Kwan almost every time, but it's not going to be Kwan. They're going to pinch hit a lefty. Once this hitter is announced, the Cardinals are probably going to go to JoJo Romero. So probably a lefty-lefty matchup here. So Maton with a struggle-filled inning. Going to stay in the game instead. He's going to face Martinez. First pitch from Maton to Martinez. In there with the curveball on the outside corner, 0-1. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the 8th. The Cardinals have a 2-run lead, but the Guardians are threatening. The 0-1 pitch from Maton to Martinez. Ground ball foul, it's 0-2. So Maton seems to have calmed down a little bit. Angel Martinez has played in 64 games this year. Just a .613 OPS. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Maton. Up and away with the cutter, 1-2. So the Cardinals do have JoJo Romero available, but they trust Maton in this righty-lefty matchup. Martinez has 5 home runs on the year. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a curveball outside. Down goes Martinez, and Maton survives another inning. No runs allowed. We go to the 9th. It is 8-6 Cardinals. So that was one of the scarier innings for Maton this season, but he got it done. Let's see who's due up. It's going to be Contreras, Nootbaar, and Arenado. So it's a 2-run lead. They're probably just going to go to whoever can eat the inning. Try to save as much of their bullpen as they can. Helsley will be set up in pretty good shape for a save, although he's going to have to face the top of the order now. So Guardians bullpen against Contreras, Nootbaar, Arenado. That's righty, lefty, righty. But the 4th hitter in the inning is going to be Gorman. So righty, lefty, and then Pozo's a righty. So it's just back and forth. Cardinals did a good job of mixing it up. Mostly righties, though, and they have these 3 solid right-handed relievers. They know the top of their order is due up. I do think they're probably going to go to one of these guys. I mean, Cade Smith hasn't seen the baseball since last Sunday. So, why would you not go to Cade Smith? He's been above average. Goes about an inning every time he comes in. So it's either Allard, who they would be sticking with, or going to Cade Smith. But it's a righty due up first. Vesta was the guy the Cardinals were crushing earlier. And then we were able to get a couple runs off Heron because they were already at second and third. So here is Contreras. Who's on the mound? Still Allard. So they stay out of the bullpen. They're sticking with Colby Allard. I'm very surprised by that. 2-run deficit isn't that far off, but I guess they're sticking with the hot hand. I guess it makes sense. First pitch was out of the zone. The second pitch is as well. A changeup below the zone now. It's 2-0 on Wilson Contreras. Contreras has a double in this one. He's 1 for 3, also has a walk. 30th pitch of the game from Colby Allard, the 2-0 to Contreras in the 9th. Got the call with the cutter at the top of the zone. It's 2-1. Cardinals lead 8-6. Nobody on, nobody out in the 9th inning. The 2-1 to Contreras. Right down the middle, pulled high in the air to left field. That ball is long out of here. And the Cardinals lead 9-6. That one was smoked by Contreras. And Helsley's job just got a little bit easier. 11th homer of the year, 51st RBI. 430 feet to left field, 109.4 off the bat. Just a fastball, dead red. And Contreras got all of it. What a swing by Contreras. And that's going to bring up Lars Nootbaar with a 3-run lead. First pitch to Newt, catches the upper outside corner. It's 0-1. Wonder if there are some Newts going around the stadium as he steps up to the plate right after the hype of that homer. Check swing on the cutter up and in. He did not go. It's 1-1. Nobody getting ready in the Cleveland bullpen, so Allard's going to have to finish this one. And Nootbaar looks uncomfortable after that swing. A little bit of a shoulder discomfort, it looks like. It was way up and in. He kind of twisted around and pulled his shoulder. So we're going to see if he stays in the game. Like shoulder and back area. Looks like he's going to stay in the game, so hopefully he's okay. We'll probably be able to tell based on the swing. The 1-1 from Nootbaar to Allard. Sorry. From Allard to Nootbaar. Fastball low and in for a strike. It's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Pulled foul. That was the curveball low and in. Yeah, he doesn't look comfortable. He continues to kind of stretch himself out between pitches. You love to have Nootbaar in the lineup, but you most love to have him healthy. So I don't know what to say as Nootbaar swings and misses at a fastball at the top of the zone. Down he goes. We'll probably take a look at left field at the start of the 9th, make sure he's still playing out there. It's a little bit concerning, but there's one out with nobody on, and here comes Arenado. They were saying Nootbaar either had an injury in his family or had some sort of injury against the Cubs. That's why he missed the last 2 games. I mean, they were both against lefties, but you would think they would have started him for the outfield defense over Hampson. And just for the bat over Hampson. The 1-0 to Arenado is way upstairs, 2-0. So we'll keep an eye out for a report on Nootbaar. But right now, it is Arenado with 2-0 count, 1 out, 3-run lead. The 2-0 from Allard is in there for a strike with the fastball, 2-1. It's going to be Arenado and Gorman against Allard. This is his 40th pitch of the game. chopper over to the right side. Easy play for the second baseman. And today that is Schneemann for out number 2. So that will bring up Nolan Gorman, who is 1 for 4 with a hit and an RBI in this one. First pitch caught the upper inside corner with the cutter. It's 0-1. Gorman had that RBI in that 6th inning. The 5-run inning for the Cardinals. The 0-1 pitch. Pulled down the right field line, fair. It's going to get all the way to the wall. Ricochets into the arms of Jones, who guns him down at second. So it's going to go down as a base hit, just a single for Gorman. He is thrown out on the base paths. That was incredibly bad luck for Gorman as it ricocheted straight to the outfielder. And we go to the bottom of the 9th with a 3-run lead for Helsley to protect. Oh, geez, what did I just click on? Okay. So Ryan Helsley looking to get another save here. He has 15 saves on the year, 3.54 ERA. Still gets strikeouts, still doesn't get barreled too often. Pretty high ground ball rate, but a lot of walks and a lot of hard hit baseballs. In this case, you just have to avoid the walks. I mean, you have a 3-run lead. Just put the ball in the zone, and that should work for you. At the very least, you just can't walk somebody when you're up by multiple runs in the 9th inning. Make them earn the hit. A home run and a walk are essentially the same thing in the 9th inning with multiple runs. With nobody on and a multiple run lead, a walk and a home run from the other team's perspective mean the same thing. So attack the zone until they get 2 base runners. Try to get swing and miss. It's going to be Juan Manzardo and Jose Ramirez. Do they have any pinch hitting options? I don't think so. I think this is just going to be their guys. Juan Manzardo, Ramirez. The 4-hitter is Santana. So, I mean, yeah, they're sticking with their guys. It's the top of the order. Scouting reports are going to be delivered. You know, Helsley's ready for that. So, this is the 9th. He is 15 out of 20 in save opportunities this year, but usually they aren't 3-run save opportunities. This is about as good as it gets. That being said, it is the top of the Cleveland order, so it won't be the easiest possible save. Let's see if Helsley can continue to attack the zone and get that walk rate a little further down. First pitch from Helsley to Stephen Kwan. In there for strike 1 with the slider. It's 0-1. Helsley has that vertical slider. Drops a lot more than it moves left. And that helps drop off the table against lefties. The 0-1 pitch to Kwan. Slider on the outside corner, low and away. 0-2. That was a great pitch from Helsley. Almost nothing Kwan could do with that. And he did attack the zone, went up 0-2. And Kwan was trying to be smart and take some pitches, but Helsley's up 0-2. The pitch. Another slider in the zone. That one popped up, playable in right field. But Scott calls off Hampson for out number 1. So with 1 out and nobody on, here comes Kyle Manzardo. Manzardo is 2 for 4. With an RBI and a run scored today. Also has 1 strikeout in this game. Sorry, no he doesn't. Oh my god, he left one man on base, is what I'm reading. The pitch is outside with the curveball, 1-0. Seeing if Helsley can up his save percentage this year. The 1-0 pitch. Missed up and away with the fastball at 101. It's 2-0. So this is where you just cannot have that. You have a multiple run lead in the ninth. You got to make him earn a hit. Put the ball in the zone. Strategically, you have to throw strikes. Only in this spot is that always a requirement. And the pitch is in there for strike one. That was a fastball right down the middle. 2-1. Next pitch from Helsley to Manzardo. Swing and a miss on the slider at the bottom of the zone, 2-2. Manzardo looked lost swinging at that pitch. Some pitchers would be doing a sword celebration after that swing, but first you got to get the strikeout. 1 out, nobody on. 2-2 pitch from Helsley to Manzardo. Swing and a miss on a slider, but it skips past Pozo. He's going to run out and make the throw, and he's out. Great put out from Pozo, as he was unable to completely block that one, but ran out and grabbed the ball for the put out. Good hop by Contreras to stay close to the base. And there are 2 down in the ninth for Jose Ramirez. So Pozo and Contreras with a great play to help support Helsley. First pitch to J-Ram is fouled off, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is in the dirt, swing and a miss with the slider. It's 0-2. Helsley for the win. The 0-2 pitch to Ramirez. Driven out to left field. On the run, Nootbaar is still in the game, made the catch, and the Cardinals win it 9-6. So Nootbaar is okay. Cardinals win it, and Helsley gets the save. Great game from the Cardinals. Showed a lot of fight in this one. They were down 6-1 in the fourth. Had 2 runs scratched back in the fifth. Got 5 more in the sixth, and were able to hold on, picking up 1 more on that Contreras bomb in the ninth. Incredible heart from the Cardinals to win the series on Game 2. We look to sweep tomorrow. I'll do a better job tomorrow, as I'll be locked in for the whole game. And we will see you guys then. Have a wonderful night.